show up, and you can click to the next one. So I always like to start by telling you a story, and just when I tell you to, I'll say hit it, but just not yet because it'll give you a giveaway. At any rate, just make sure this is off. Yes. So we have lots of fun. We bring you there. That was just a snapshot of the 3 days once you arrive. We like to take you behind the scenes of the industry for the first week to kind of get you acclimated to the industry, the culture, the environment. You meet all sorts of industry leaders and professionals, and have a wonderful time, right? So you start building a network from day one so that you have resources to go back to. So I always like to start by telling you a little story. This young lady wanted to work in, production, kind of behind the scenes, thought she wanted to be an editor. And so she was working at Disney, and they told her, her folks had told her, get involved in everything, right? Any networking events they have you go off to, make sure you get involved. And so she happened to go to this event, and at the event there were the producers of Disney's first African-American princess movie, Princess and the Frog. And so they were like, wow, you would make a great princess. And so, you can show the next one. So they said, you'd make a great princess, and she just kind of shrugged her shoulders and went home, told her folks, and they were like, oh my God, this is crazy. And so she goes back to work the next day, and they whisk her into a room, they sit her down, they start drawing and drafting her, then start taking photographs of her, and she ends up becoming the face of Princess Tiana. So I always say to young folks, you never know where your internship is going to land you. But the craziest thing about the story is that that's my daughter. And I would have never thunk in a million years that my kid would ever be immortalized as a Disney princess. But that's my Jamie. And I found out I'm going to be a grandma, so this has been a long time ago. When she was in college, she was interning at Disney. And just so happened that our neighbor happened to be the vice president of post-production. And she was telling Jamie, when you go to college, I want you to be my intern. And so that is my Jamie, and so you never know where your internship is going to land you. You never know who's going to discover you, see you. And she happened to be in the basement of the feature animation post-production team, and they loved it. All right, next one. So here's another little clip, and this is from Atlanta. So we just launched Atlanta last summer, and you can go ahead and hit play.
Hi, my name is Karis Bender. I'm a rising junior broadcast journalism major, political science minor from Atlanta, Georgia, attending the illustrious Howard University.
Hello, I'm Rayshawn Smith. I go to Morehouse College, and I'm interning at UTA.
Hi, my name is Janelle Costa. I go to Howard University, and this summer I'm interning with AEG with their 0 Mile division.
Hey everyone, I am Kaya Brown. I'm a third-year business administration student at Florida A&M University, and this summer I'll be interning with TNT Sports at Warner Bros. Discovery.
This program has been great. Actually, it gave us a lot of resources, and also a lot of knowledge of what we're going to expect going into internship. It's hard, getting into this entertainment industry. So one thing about HBCU and ATL, they prep you and prepare you to get your foot in the door.
So what I really hope to gain from HBCU and ATL and Eciop as a whole is really this professional development and community that comes with it, as well as working with CNN and being able to discover more about myself as a rising broadcast journalist and where I fit within production and the media industry. I truly believe this is an excellent opportunity for self-growth and professional development and really just enriching myself and the people around me in this beautiful industry.
This opportunity to be a part of the program has meant a lot to me because I feel so welcome and that I'm already learning things. I get not only to live with like-minded individuals who also have similar goals as me but from different HBCUs. I get to surround myself with them every day and also learn from people who are 10 steps ahead of me, who are already in this industry, who know exactly how to guide me. So I'm super excited to see how much I can learn this summer.
At Howard University, I am a dance major, so how ECOP has helped me is really learn the business side of the entertainment industry, since in my regular classes, I really don't have the opportunity to understand how to build a resume, how to ace an interview, what's it like creating a cover letter, having all of those professional development series and having Holly and Christina really gear into us what other companies are looking for, helped me land my internship and also helps me be progressive in the field.
So So that's our ATL inaugural group, which just launched last summer, and there's a potential that we're gonna have HBCU in Nashville come up next summer, and that is to take students behind the scenes of the business of the music industry. So as I mentioned earlier, the program runs about 8 to 10 weeks in length, depends on, you know, which location you go to, depends on what company is hosting you as an intern. We provide you with all the housing. So you don't have to pay anything to live the entire summer. And we provide you, as they mentioned in the clip, with a lot of professional development. We want you to walk into these spaces ready on day one. We want to make sure that you understand how to flow and how to function, to know that you have wraparound support to help you when you're struggling, when you're not quite sure what to do. We want to make sure that we're there to help you. Our application is open now, and I know we've passed around some of those little cue cards, those cards. On the back is a QR code. Our application is open until October 25th, and we will be notifying finalists like early November if they have made it into the program. So that's that. Next slide. So what is our mission? Our mission is quite simple, is to create access and opportunity for you. At the end of the day, that's all I care about. How do I create access and opportunity for more students of color to have access into this industry? It is about building a diverse pipeline of talent, strategically and intentionally, not just like, you know, this is something I think I want to do. I'm really out here doing that and making that happen. I want to expose you to valuable hands-on work experience so that you really walk away with some real tools and skills, and when you have a resume, the summer will help you to start building what that resume should look like for not only right now, but also ultimately into the future. And my goal in this was that I knew that if I could get you all's resumes and get you into the industry and have leading industry organizations on your resume, you will be marketable to any company out wherever you go. And it's about providing you with a pathway to effectively leverage and launch your career. And at the end of the day, it's about you going from intern to hire. I'm not trying to have you just be an intern and pat you on the shoulder and say, I hope you had a great summer. No, I want you to ultimately end up with a full-time job. That is what the goal is at the end of the day. Next slide. So some of our program highlights career development and coaching, which I've already mentioned. Knowledge exchange with industry professionals. I don't know if you saw like Daniel Ezra from All-American in the clip there, but the entire cast came out to talk to our group in a room like this, and it's intimate, it's very up close and personal. We've had leading producers, we've had just people that are talent acquisition folks. Those are the people that hire individuals for various jobs. We take you behind the scenes. You saw them go to NBC Universal. We've also had a chance for our group when, I think it was the 23 cohort. Was it the 23? Yeah, cohort. That actually, when the movie Nope came out, NBC Universal told the entire cohort, you're all going to the premiere. So to be able to be in a room with professionals is really, really important. Screenings, panel discussions, it happens all throughout the summer. Every Thursday we have what we call our speaker series. That's an opportunity for you to meet and hear from industry leaders, organizations, to be able to pour into you. And so it's also our time to come together as a family, because I can tell, like, hey, what's happening? You're kind of quiet. Are you okay at work? What's happening? But it's also our time to once a week get together as a family. And it's ultimately to provide you with mentoring and networking opportunities. You often hear people say, you need to network, you got to get out there, but nobody ever tells you how to do it. And we actually put you in an environment and show you how to do it the entire summer. One summer, Netflix has this big event every year, and so they invited our students, and we all went, and they all came around me and like, we don't know what to say. I'm like, of course you know what to say. I go to an HBCU, I'm an intern in this program, and I'm working here. Tell me about yourself. What do you do? What advice would you give to me? And they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, light bulb goes on. So we really help you. So people say, what type of jobs, right? Look at the myriad of job opportunities. I want to say this to you. If you're watching a movie or a sporting event or anything, watch the credits at the end. They roll forever. People just get up and leave, right? But all of those names represent jobs in the industry. So look at how many people worked on that one project. Those are all jobs at the end of the day. So, you know, people say, well, you know, I'm into game design and development. Well, we have that. I'm into finance, I'm a business major. We crunch dollars for multi-million-dollar movies, right? So if it's finance, it's not always about going to a firm. You can come and crunch numbers inside of a major organization within the entertainment industry. So that's just a snapshot of some of the opportunities. No way can I put everything up there, but just to kind of give you an idea. So we have some special programs. So the NAACP Hollywood Bureau sponsors 5 students that want to be in the journalism track. So we would have you working for like Entertainment Tonight or an ABC local news station, but there's those types of opportunities that they particularly have put together. This summer we're going to be launching a film intensive. So anyone that's interested in creating content, we will be bringing recent graduates from 24 to spring 25 graduates to LA and doing a film immersion program. And it'll be for a course of about 8 to 10 weeks, and we're doing it in partnership with Netflix. So we want to create the next generation content creators, and we want them to come from HBCUs. We also have a partnership with Activision. Have you guys ever heard of Activision? Have you ever heard of Call of Duty and Candy Crush and all that? Activision does all of those games, and so they have a partnership with us, and we bring students that are interested in game development and design to LA for another immersive experience, and they get to work and go to Activision and interact with their leadership as well. So those are a couple of the special ones, and this is to give you a snapshot of the game design intensive, and so it's a short little video. I am so grateful that Activision decided to roll up their sleeves with us and do this 4.5-week intensive with students from HBCUs. It has been incredible. It's a type of commitment that one has to take in order to really affect a real diverse pipeline in this type of niche area.
This is a special program to me. It's designed to support HBCU students. First and foremost, that is the objective. It's designed to support them in gaining game industry knowledge. Game industry knowledge both as from a practical standpoint, as a practitioner, and as a designer, as a creative, as somebody who can see themselves in this space.
The program's been amazing. It's been a great learning opportunity. I've gotten to learn a lot about the gaming industry, not just as an industry when it comes to the work that they do, but also understanding the broad impact that the gaming industry has got on our society, you know, as a vehicle for change. And you also get to appreciate the hard work that game developers put in to make it possible for people who are lovers of gaming to enjoy.
We had 23 students this past summer, and they were pretty incredible. So again, if you don't have that, here's our QR code. Our application process is really, really simple and easy. We want a one-page resume. Can you guys say one page? One page. Why do I want one page? Simple. Yes, but the other thing, the biggest problem that we have is volume. We get a ton of them, right? If you got a 2-pager, I'm not reading 2 pages. Tell me 1 page, a snapshot. Who are you? And all that other kind of good stuff. So you need a 1-page resume. And we also know that a lot of times people try to fill it up with a bunch of fancy things and you try to create all this real estate on there, but it's like, no, just tell me some simple things and I'll tell you exactly how to do a really good resume. A personal statement, who are you? Why do you want to be a part of this program? What do you hope that it brings and adds to your future career goals and the things that you want to do? So tell me something unique about yourself, right? Proof of enrollment. Application closes on the 25th. You'll be notified early November whether or not you become what we call a finalist. If you become a finalist, that means that now you will be sent over to our industry partner organizations, and we will send you information about all their internship opportunities, and now you will be strategically positioned to be able to intern with major entertainment companies. Once they interview you and make you a job offer, you accept, you will go to either New York, LA, or Atlanta. Wherever your internship is, that is the area where you go. Some students say, can we choose the location? No, you can't. It's about wherever your job offer comes from, you'll go to that particular location. So here's just a couple of special moments, and I'm going to kind of flash through those, but that's the group obviously at the Today Show and us hanging out. Nikki comes to visit us every now and then. Next slide. So that was, you saw their day at NBC Universal. They had the park and did a whole behind the scenes VIP tour. And then this was the crew that got to go to the Note premiere. It was 22. You know it wasn't 23. I was asking you and you said yes. All right, next slide. And Chris Paul, who is a basketball player, as you all know, he sponsors 5 students every year to be in this program. And so that particular summer, he was like, I want the group to come to the ESPY Awards. I'm like, do you know how large our cohort is? They're like, we want them all to come. So they all got gussied up and they went off to the ESPY Awards. And so it's pretty crazy. All those folks are now working. They got to do Les Mis one year, so people who were interested in theater or not, right? Maybe they were interested in orchestra, music, whatever, but they got to actually shadow and be a part of the Les Mis production that came to Los Angeles. And then we took our New York group and took them to the Michael Jackson on Broadway show, and that was their night out. And so we did some fun things. So Daniel Ezra came and spoke to our students one year, and that's his agent that's sitting there talking with him. And then this could be you. So would you guys like to come and be a part of this program?
Yes,
Are you half interested? Sorta, maybe not? All right. I haven't feeling you guys yet. Okay, next. So I'm going to tell you guys about how to leverage, because I say this could be you, but then these are going to be the next few things I'm going to share with you is really the nuts and bolts for what it's going to take for you to succeed. So leveraging, I always speak about leveraging an opportunity to launch a career. What do I mean by leveraging? First of all, it is not an opportunist and it is not a manipulator. We can smell you a mile away, right? Webster speaks of it in terms of a lever that creates an action. And I love it when I hear a word that moves and propels one into action. Simply put, it's going to require action on your part. You have to get engaged, you have to get involved. You can't sit there like a bump on the log, like you gotta get moving. That's what leveraging is all about. I also tell people that in order to leverage, you also need to be the one that steps in and does that thing that nobody else wants to do. You have to step in and make yourself available in order to really succeed, right? Come in, get alongside of your boss, serve them like no one else ever has. Trust me, you will find promotion and opportunities beyond your wildest dreams. So let's talk a little bit about the industry. The industry is really this tiny little circle, all right? Every now and then it opens up and lets someone in, but it quickly closes. So people say you got to know somebody to get inside, you know, who's got an uncle, you got somebody, whatever. Statistics show that there are some 27,000 film school students that graduate every year looking for a spot inside of this industry. So the outer circle, imagine yourself out there with all those 27,000 some odd folks, right? And what's the key to getting in? Internships. This industry is an apprenticeship business. I don't care what school you come out of, how high your degree is, everybody starts at the same level. So it's about getting in on that level and succeeding and thriving. So what we like to say that we're your uncle, your cousins, we're your people that open the door to get you in. We have about 35 different industry partners that are hosting students for internships all across the industry and 3 geographical locations. So there is tremendous opportunity for you to find your way inside of this circle. I often like to describe, if you can imagine, like on the outer circle, one of these days I'm going to have somebody who does graphic motion and all that kind of stuff put together a real thing that shows you how this works. But in the outer circle, imagine all these people, right, just kind of vying for a spot. But because you're a part of HBCU in LA or New York or Atlanta, your resume has already made it inside, and they give you an opportunity, you drop in. And once you're inside, sky's the limit. It's up to you then to work it from there. So, all right. So I always like to tell this story. We all know who Oprah Winfrey is, right? But I love this story that she always, would share about her friend, Gail. So yes, they have been friends for a very long time. So Oprah always knew she wanted to be, quote, in the broadcast news industry. She didn't care what job she had. She just wanted to be a part of the industry. And so let's fast forward. She's now working at a station in Baltimore. And she and her friend Gail are jumping up and down in the bathroom because Oprah is 20 and she just got a raise and she's making $20,000 a year. And Gail looks at her and says, oh my God, Oprah, can you imagine when you're 40 and you're making $40,000 a year? Well, we all know Oprah was making a whole lot more money than $40,000 a year at age 40. But again, her goal was, quote, I just want a job, I just want to be a part of this industry. If you have that mindset, it's really going to take you far, right? And I love what she says about success. It's just a magnifying glass on your personality. Who you are now should just become that much more intense. You should never stay here. You go from one level to the next. You're always rising. So I love that story. So here are some characteristics to succeed. You got to get some relevant industry experience. Yes, Stacy, but I'm not in LA, I'm not in New York, I'm at Lincoln University. Yeah, but you have probably a campus radio, a campus news, you have a podcast here, you've got local stations. You can be involved on campus. That's relevant experience, right? And I also like to say that even when folks are working in fast food places, they think, well, I don't want to put that down because that's not relevant. Yes, it is, because guess what? You've been dealing with a fast-paced environment, multiple personalities. You know how to deal in a space, and so don't ever leave that off because that is also very relevant. And then you got to bring some talent. This industry is incredibly packed with talented people, right? And so what is your talent? What is your gift? What is that thing that you know that you do really well? And sometimes it's folks telling you, you're really good at X, Y, and Z. Pay attention to that. Is that your talent? Is that your secret sauce that you can bring to the table? And I also tell people, have passion. This industry is a hurry up and wait business. If you're impatient and you're not passionate about it, they're going to chew you up and spit you out, right? Because you've got to be passionate. I say you have to know it's what you were meant to eat, sleep, breathe, and do every single day. And people go, well, I don't know where my passion is. Well, what would you, if money wasn't an obstacle and you could get out of bed every day, what would you do? That's probably where your passion is. So pay attention to that. Think about that for a little bit. And then you have to have the ability to anticipate. No one should have to tell you what to do every step of the way. See ahead, think ahead, always staying 2 steps ahead at all times. Okay? Then you have to be a workhorse. In this industry, the hours are 9 to 6. You think anybody goes home at 6 o'clock? No. And let's say you're an intern, and my intern day has been so boring. They haven't given me anything to do. And so I'm packing up at 4:45 or 5:45 because I know my day is about to end in 15 minutes. Guess who won't get a job at the end of the summer? That person. So trust me, when you think no one is watching you or looking at you, they're always observing you. Always. So you have to be a workhorse. I say be the first in and the last out. All right? And then become a student of the biz. Understand what's happening in the industry. Whatever industry you are interested in, you should constantly be educating yourself about it. I'm always reading. My husband always saying, who's standing over there, what are you doing? What are you reading now? And I always want to go, don't ask. I'm always reading about work or something. So you should always be a student of this industry. Whatever it is you want to do, make sure you're reading about it, you're educated about it. Because what does it do? It allows you to step into an environment and have a great conversation. If you're in an interview, you're able to talk more effectively about whatever it is you want to do, all of those sorts of things, all right? And then you got to have a service mindset. I always say that the President of the United States is serving us, the people. The leadership of this great institution is serving you, the students. So everybody functions in an operation of service, regardless of where you are and how far you go. If I have a product, I'm hoping that my consumer is ready to buy it. I'm serving them. So always look at service as a mindset of greatness. Anybody who's willing to serve are those that are willing, that want to become great. All right, and then attention to detail. Please, please, please don't tell me you got attention to detail and then your resume's got 55 typos in it. No, that just does not work. You know, I'm really listening. It sounds great. It's a great soundbite, but you really need to reflect it. I always tell people that if you're doing the job, pay attention to the details, do your job fast, but do it well. All right. So this is the Hollywood Reporter. And I know this is a little older copy, but I just love it because she's on it. And but the Hollywood Reporter and the Daily, well, not Daily anymore, but the Variety, those are the industry Bibles. There's no one that does not start their day without reading the Reporter, Hollywood Reporter, and the Variety. It's just like in the finance world. They're going to check out the stock market every single day, right? They're going to read it. So you got to make sure that you're abreast of industry news. And the next slide. So here's how you need to position your resume. We could be here talking about resumes till later today, but I'm not going to do that because as somebody who has recruited for a long time, there are 3 things that we're looking for in every resume. And my husband over there is the one who has interviewed probably more than 10,000 people and gave me this pointer when I was writing my book. But where did you do it? That's what I'm looking for. Where did you do it? What did you do? And then how long did you do it for? Right? If you're not answering these questions for me, it's turning. Can any of you tell me how long you think it takes for me as a recruiter or any recruiter to read your resume?
30 seconds.
That's too long.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. How about 5 to 10? That's all I need. Because I'm looking for these 3 things, right? As someone who has an internship program, I am looking at your resume, and the first thing I'm looking for is your education. Okay, you go to school here. What's your major? Do you have a graduation date up there? Most people don't put a graduation date. Some of them never put their majors up there. And if I'm a person looking for college students, I'm looking at what's your expected year of graduation, right? Because I'm trying to figure out, are you eligible? If nothing's on there, guess what happens? I don't even go down to the other half of your resume. I turn it. You don't even make it in. So that's what that attention to detail and making sure that you have the things on there that you need. Yes?
So like this internship, like for me as like a senior, is it like eligible for me? I will be graduating in May. So like is it
Yeah,
eligible?
up to 6 months post-graduation, we allow you to be a part of the program. Now, there are some companies that do not take recent grads, but we have over 35 companies that are hosting, and a lot of them do. So, as far as our program goes, yes, you have up to 6 months post-graduation.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So make sure you have your graduation year on there, your school, your major, all of that is important. Also, the other thing that a lot of you don't put on there is your skills. We know y'all are tech savvy, but we want to know what programs do you know. Because when you step into these environments, it allows us to know, oh, this person is, familiar with technology, right? So put your skills on there. A lot of times that is also left off. And objective, I don't want no objective. Your objective is to get the job. Objectives put you in a hole. Right? If I'm saying I want to blah, 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 but that isn't aligned with what the job is, you're automatically out. So don't put an objective on there, right? I just need to know, what did you do, where did you do it, and how long did you do it for, right? And then what was the job, and what were your skills? I also tell people, put it in bullet points. I don't want to read a paragraph. I don't read a book about what you did. Give me some bullet points and some highlights. So I often tell you, go to your career counseling office, go to a peer, have someone else look at it, even have a family member look at it. If they got 55 questions on what you're trying to say on that resume, chances are a recruiter will too, and because they're so busy, they're not going to finish looking at your resume. So I want them to get all the way down, and the reason why I say 1 page is because a lot of times it's that first half that determines whether or not we're interested to read further. So, are those some good tips? Yes. All right, to get the interview, is that all the stuff on there? Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so I want to say this. If you get an interview, guess what that means? out of hundreds, if not thousands of resumes, your resume has surfaced to the top. So they are not calling you to interview just to be nice. They are calling you to interview you because you qualify. The whole reason you get an interview in this industry is because you qualify. You match up on paper with what they think they want. Now the interview is to find out whether or not you're really what they thought on paper, or does your personality really gel with who it is that they want as a part of their team. So, first of all, do your homework. So I had some young men over at the NBA Players Association in New York this summer. And the feedback was they didn't know who Andre Iguodala, is that his name? He's the president over the Players Association. And I'm like, how do you not know? That's like a little bit of homework. If you just went to the Players Association and figured out in the union who's the president, you would know that. So you got to do your homework. People will go over to DreamWorks and talk about Nemo. Well, Nemo was on Disney. It wasn't over at DreamWorks. So do your homework, know who the company is, know what their successes are, know what their shows are, things like that. And oftentimes be prepared to answer the question, you know, what are you reading right now? Or what are you looking at? Or what's one of your favorite shows that is on our channel? Like, those are the things you need to be able to talk about, all right? So do your homework, dress for success. This simply is business casual, right? It doesn't have to be suited and booted and all that stuff. We don't need all that. It's a pretty much laid-back environment, but you do want to dress professionally. I have a 5 jewelry rule for the ladies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything more than that is too much. If it clanks and bangles and all that, you're taking attention away from yourself and not paying attention to you. For the guys, we can tell when you pulled out that shirt out of the laundry basket, you didn't iron it, like, we see all that. So dress for success. And then have your resume with you. Now I know because we're digital, a lot of times you can just send it. But if you're actually going into a physical interview, take the same resume that got you the interview. Don't bring a new one, all right? Have a new one ready if you need to, but if you got additional experience before that interview happened, then that's something for you to talk about in the interview. I recently finished an opportunity with X, Y, and Z, right? And this was my job, my job responsibilities. But always bring the same resume that got you the interview. And then I say listen more than you talk. Kind of what you guys are doing today. You're listening. I hope y'all taking it all in. Y'all, you know, I wait for your energy to come back to me. But listen more than you talk. Statistics show that the people who allow the interviewer to conduct the interview, those are the people that get the job. Not the person that yaps your ear off. I remember I had a person just yapping in front of me, and I was just like, she was taking me back to a whole bunch of history, and I'm like, honey, I didn't ask to know all that. And I couldn't wait for her to leave, because she just kept talking. So that's not a good impression, right? So let the interviewer conduct the interview. And bring effective communication skills. If you've got tics, right, like, you know, all those little ticky things, we don't want that, right? We know that you go to great schools, you've written highly structured papers. Bring your best communication skills to the table, all right? And then last, I tell people, bring some personality and enthusiasm. People are sitting across from me, and I'm like, look, I got a job. You want a job? Like, let me know you're interested, right? Like, I'm really excited for this opportunity. You know, I think this will be great. You know, really would be honored to have this opportunity. Bring your personality. If you're super loud and you know you've come to kind of a quiet environment, then you might have to tone it down a little bit. People say, no, bring your authentic self. Don't bring your authentic self to that one, because you won't get that job. All right? So pay attention to the environment. Learn to read the room. All those things are important for you when you step into these environments and how you land these jobs. All right? We do? Okay. So, and then last, I tell people to relax, because guess what? You'd have the job in the first place. Last thing that happens, you walk out, you still don't have a job. But it's okay, right? Because you just need to relax. So, I think was that at the end? Am I at the end? Yes. All right. So, was that good information?
Great.
So hopefully certainly you're interested, you want to be a part of this program, I am certainly interested. I would love to have some Lincoln students in one of our cohorts this summer, for you to be able to come back and continue to bring, more to your institution, give back to your community. And I think we just have time for like 3 questions or so. So if anybody's got a question, I'd be happy to answer. Yes?
Is this, my name is Clement Julius, nice to meet you. Is this program open to international students?
It is.
Alright, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I live in New York, so I just have a basic question. Wherever we base, whether it's Atlanta or LA, do y'all provide like the services for travel, or how does that work?
So we provide you with housing, and you have a whole cohort that is with you. And the beautiful thing is that all the students figure out together, like whether we're gonna take the train, how we're gonna get around. In LA, they Uber together, they put together pools. They all figure it out. Once your dollars start rolling in and you're making money every week from your job, it's a pretty low cost to get transportation in town, but we don't get folks around.
This question is how to determine where they're going to New York.
Oh, is that your question?
No.
No, it was what I said. Got it. I've been married to that man all 40 years. He'll still be trying to tell me stuff. But anyway, but yeah, so that is that. Did I answered your question?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
So I go to a lot of like HBCU conferences and I see the same names, Howard, FAMU, NCAT, all these bigger schools. How do you get schools like Lincoln, Cheney, NCCU, the smaller schools, to get into those positions as well? How do we make it more equitable for us?
Yes. So, I get that all the time. And I will say the industry has a standard, right, of types of resumes they're used to seeing, the type of experience. And some of those schools have, alumni and folks that come in that kind of give them those resources. But for us, we want to be the equalizer, right, which is why I take the time to come to your institution, right? I don't need to go to Howard again, right? Howard knows about this program, but what I want to do is I want all 101 of these institutions to know about this and to create opportunity. So we advocate behind the scenes a little harder for institutions that come, like smaller institutions like, or I should just say institutions that don't have all the shine like the others. So that's how we do it, yeah. And it really is about finding those diamonds that are here, right? So we know based on your experience and the resume you put forward, all of that will tell us a whole lot about how far we can, go with pushing you to our partners. So yeah. Huh? Oh, I gotta go. Okay. Last question? Yes.
Come on, man.
Okay.
So you were saying like y'all get paid weekly. Does that like vary from like where, like what job or what position?
I didn't understand the first part.
Like you said, you get paid weekly for the internship. Does it like vary like by job or like where you're at? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the company you're working for. Yeah, so they give you all of that, but you do get your pay the whole time you're there. Yeah. All right.
For those of you who did not get one of these, there's several of them on the table. Please feel free to take one.
And again, my apologies for being late because we're gonna have more time together.
You do have more time.
I do.
Yes. Okay. Did everybody sign in? Everybody, I'll be there somewhere behind you.